If you consumed a little too much calories over Christmas and realize you actually might be ready for a cut, however, your gaining phase, surplus phase is going very well, you're progressing in the gym, you're gaining some nice muscle, you want to, or you know you should cut down, but you don't want to lose any muscle tissue. This video I'm going to teach you how you can do that. From an example we can see on the screen here, no muscle was lost during this cutting phase. Definitely held on to at least all tissue. I wouldn't say lost any at all. If anything, it looks bigger, but you do look bigger when you're leaner. Now, if you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Tom Sergi. I run the Gorilla Platoon. This is an online physique transformation program where we get results like this each and every week. We've also now created the community on school where all of our paying members are inside that, and we share now that brotherhood together, as well as just as being a result pumping transformation group. So we're going to get straight into it, how to lose fat without losing muscle, and these are the points we're going to discuss. So we'll roll straight into it. The first thing you need to be doing when you are going through your cutting phase is making sure your nutrition plan has high protein. Specifically, we go off taking the lean figure and timesing it by 2.4. So how do you work out your lean figure? Honestly, the best way to do so is to simply, you can go to the gym and try to use the DEXA scan or whatever it's got there. It's probably not really going to work. Your best bet, honestly, is to go into Google body fat percentage photos and take a photo of yourself and compare yourself to what you see online. That's what I do with my clients, and ultimately that's how I was able to get good before and afters like this, by estimating body fat. So you're going to estimate the body fat percentage. You're going to weigh yourself on the scale minus the body fat percentage off the scale. It's going to give you your lean mass. You're going to times that number by 2.4. That figure is the amount in grams you will need for protein. You will hit that every day as a non-negotiable. You will never take it any lower than that. To be fair, if you're not over 20%, if you are under 20% body fat, you could go off 1 gram per pound of body weight as a general guideline as well. And that will work absolutely fine for you. Now, here's an interesting thing to look at. During a dieting phase, people will pull carbs, and they'll pull carbs quite low quite soon. I'm going to tell you, don't do that. I'm going to tell you to keep your carbs as high as you possibly can for as long as you possibly can during your dieting phase. Now, why do I say this? And why dare I say it? Would carbs be more important than protein? Well, carbs are there to drive energy and performance in the gym. Your best bet to retaining muscle tissue is not the protein you eat, it's the training stimulus and the demand you put on your muscle. If we went back to ancient times, there's a photo of like old fucking Greek mythologist people walking around with a bull on their shoulders. And then as the bull got heavier, they had to get stronger to do it. Therefore, they had to be as strong as the demand, the external load put on their physique. Well, if they didn't carry the heavy bull, they would shrink back to their former self. Just like if you didn't train as hard during your dieting phase, you would shrink back to your former self. So training stimulus is the biggest factor for building and also retaining tissue. What drives performance in the gym is carbohydrate intake. So I'm more in the camp of, during your recomp phase at the very least, or dieting phase, is protein stays at this figure here, and carbs stay as high as possible as well, and we will pull from fats. You'll never be on zero fat. It's now impossible for you to eat a zero fat diet because there are trace fats in absolutely everything. And you can go down to a lower level, just not forever. And this isn't supposed to be forever. This is supposed to be get in, get out, get fucking peeled in 10 weeks, and then go back from there. So don't cut your carbs. Keep your carbs as high as you possibly can. And dare I say, when it comes down to it, I would never pull from protein, but if you said, listen, you can either eat the protein target, but you're going to have no energy in the gym and you're going to lose some training stimulus, versus you can pull your protein a bit and give me some carbs and I'll be able to train at the same level and keep my muscle through that way, I'd probably rather do that way. So carbs are honestly sacred. Do not look to pull them down. So if you're not going to pull from calories as well, look to then push your cardio first. Keep food higher. It will keep muscles fuller for longer, therefore keeping you more adherent. It'll stop the hunger and the appetite because your food is higher, and also, obviously, your gym floor performance. So that's why we like to push cardio first to get the body fat off, rather than pulling from food. That can come later on down the line when your cardio is that high that if we kept pushing it higher and higher, it's going to mess with routine. That's when we look at food. I'll say this now, and this goes into the carb perspective and also the repair from the protein. Train like a fucking savage. Train like you're in a surplus, even if you're in a deficit. How do you do this? Well, you make sure your around the workout nutrition is locked in and it's on point. Never pull from those. Make sure you hit the timing well with them. So when you go into the gym, you're well fueled. You can train like a fucking savage. You've had your coffee, whatever it is you need to get you in the right mindset for it. And you're not going to let those numbers fall. You're going to do whatever it takes to at least hold the numbers you've achieved in the gym for the longest period of time. I've managed to get up to... So I've been on a cleanup phase now, 79. We're at 81.5, and we were working up, and the highest press we got was like 50s for 6. They were a bit scruffy. I've had a clean 48 for 8. Went back in yesterday after a deload week, and we're still able to hit 48 for 8, even though we've lost, 7 kg or so over that period. Still managed to hold the numbers. That's the biggest deciding factor, that you are at least retaining the tissue that you've worked so hard for. So train like a savage. Make sure everything around your workout is set up very well. I didn't mention sleep, but actually I should have done, and take this as a bonus point. If you get your sleep locked in, it's going to make the full next day so much easier. Because if you don't sleep well, you're going to be hungrier, because your hormone of ghrelin is going to be telling you we're fucking hungry when realistically you're just not well rested. So get your sleep in. You will recover from the sessions and you will be more adherent to your diet plan the next day. The last thing, which you should already be taking, is creatine monohydrate. This will fully keep strength and performance as high as it possibly could be without taking any further enhancements, therefore allowing you to hold on to tissue. But hopefully you're starting to understand the pattern here. The main reason you're going to hold on to muscle without losing, you're going to hold on to muscle whilst losing fat is training stimulus. Sure, protein's important, but training stimulus is single-handedly the biggest factor for you retaining that tissue, and we want to do whatever we can to uphold it. It is fucking sacred, that gym time. So that's how you're going to hold on to tissue whilst in a gaining phase. Make sure you apply those points so you don't lose any muscle yourself. I know how hard it is to build muscle. You don't want to throw it away too quickly. So thank you for watching. If you found it useful, subscribe, and I will see you tomorrow.